Still no decision by the minister. What does that tell us?
The federal government are trying to make sure that if they make this decision, that they do it in such a way and with a process that is, from a legal position, bulletproof. We all know that the finding of the Federal Circuit Court on Monday, following consent orders from the party, was that the process that was undertaken by Border Force at the airport last Thursday, 8 days ago, was not the correct process, and they want to make sure that they get that right. So that's part of the reason. The other reason, I think, for the first few days, I think the government were probably, from a political perspective, trying to work out whether this was going to be a vote winner or not. But from a legal perspective, that's what's really happening, making sure the process is right, and they've ticked all the boxes, and they're bulletproof if this goes back before the court. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fence, Novak Djokovic's legal team are trying to set up a case so that if the visa is cancelled, they will have some grounds upon which to go back to the Federal Circuit Court and seek a temporary injunction.
Well, that was going to be my next question. So if the visa is rejected for a second time, are there grounds for Djokovic's lawyers to appeal again?
Well, on Monday, as soon as the consent orders were made, the Federal Circuit Court Judge Kelly was told by the solicitors for the federal government that they might make this decision again and cancel the visa again. The judge was pretty clearly annoyed. His Honour said that if he'd found out elsewhere, he would have been incandescent with rage. And he said, I'll be happy to hear this matter at short notice. That seemed to me to be a pretty clear signal that he would give a temporary injunction if the matter came back before him. But since then, we've had these new facts come to light about the declaration and about what occurred over in travelling to Spain, and then, of course, the photo shoot and interview with the journalist when Djokovic knew that he was COVID positive, and he's made that admission. So those new facts might change the judge's tentative view, and it might give some grounds. But at this stage, we can't say, because we haven't seen the reasons that the federal government might use. They might steer clear of his vaccination status and go just for the declaration form, for example. The precise reasons they use will determine whether there is an arguable case. That's what he's going to have to show. He's going to have to show, I have a decent case, I have an arguable case, and if he can show that, my view is he will get a temporary injunction until after the Australian Open. Djokovic can't win the Australian Open in late February or March, but the federal government can still boot him out at that stage if ultimately they're found to be right. So the judge will be thinking about, well, we can't go back in time for Djokovic. We effectively can for the government. They don't lose much if we delay their ability to deport him, but Djokovic loses everything if we wrongly deport him. So that, I think, leans towards getting a temporary injunction for Djokovic.
Well, it's going to be very fascinating to see this play out. Hopefully we get that decision today by the Minister. Justin Quill, partner at major law firm Thomson, Geer Lawyers. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Danica.